Simtex, the design firm that brought you the Microprose mega hits Master of Orion and Master of Magic, are at it again. This time, the project is Mech Lords, a futuristic strategy game to be published by New World Computing. We recently had a chance to talk with lead guru Steve Barcia about this new game that is not, repeat, not, a competitor for Earthsiege. In Mech Lords, you play a nobleman with big political aspirations. The duke of your political house is dying without a direct heir, leaving the title up for grabs. I'll let Steve explain the political system.
Basically, you have a central empire which is composed of 6 houses. It's a feudal society, and with an emperor on top. And that's the core, and it's held very tight. And for the most part, in the core, things work well. You know, people have to get along with each other because of the structure of the Imperium. However, all of your battles are going to take place on the fringe, which is on the outside, where law is enforced by the individual houses and not by the Imperium. The Imperium doesn't have its iron hand.
To convince your house's council that you are the right noble for the job, you must successfully complete missions, usually involving colonial expansion along the rim of your house's territory.
As expansion continues, planets are becoming open for colonization, missions, and that's what you are. You're on the forefront of this expansion. You are a noble who is being sent to make sure that all of these missions succeed. And you have a whole bunch of different kinds of missions to go on, either against against other houses, for your house to, make you more money. There's a whole bunch of different reasons, research, and so you're just going to continue to expand and expand.
To operate and defend your colonies, you'll need machines, big machines. That's where the mechs come into play, but first you'll have to acquire the right technology.
You start off with tanks, and eventually you can develop walker technology, which are like little bitty 2-legged giant robots. And then you get your mech, and then you get your battle mech, which is a huge, almost 100, 200 foot tall giant robot. That is the epitome. There's also like an aeromech in there, which is a flying version of the robot.
One thing that should be made clear is that although you will command mechs in battle, you don't actually pilot them yourself. Remember, this is a strategy game, not an action sim like Earthsiege or the fabled MechWarrior 2. Your mechs will serve a wide variety of functions, from combat to colonial operations. Think of them as your tools, not your toys. If you don't operate the mechs, someone else has to. Mech Lords will feature dynamic pilots whose abilities improve over time. They may even add their own chapters to the political potboiler.
You also have the characters, the pilots, which you have a whole roster of pilots with their abilities, which will improve their performance inside the mechs, and vice versa. And so over time, these guys get better, and you really don't want them to die. In fact, they can be captured, and you can ransom them from other houses, or have specific missions to go back and get them.
In your struggle for leadership, you'll encounter adversity from all sides. The other houses don't like you, and you face internal opposition for the title of Duke. You also have to think about your colonial expansion and whose backyard you may be creeping up on.
Unfortunately, you're expanding into somebody else's empire, who are like alien xenophobes, and they don't like it, and so they're going to periodically begin attacking you. So there's a transitional period where you are, at first, all the people you have to compete with are the other houses. You all get on a rich planet, and they say, it's mine. No, it's mine. No, I want it. And so you're going to be fighting over resources if other houses land on your planet, which they most usually will if it's a good one. And then later in the game, you're going to have to worry about the Scree, who are the alien race who's going to come in.
With political intrigue, colonial expansion and management, multiple enemies, and huge, deadly robots to lead into battle, Mech Lord sounds like a big success waiting to happen. Scheduled for release in September, Mech Lord should have Master of Orion and Master of Magic fans panting in expectation. As always, look to future episodes of IE for continuing coverage as the project evolves.